Good morning.
Good morning. I'm glad you didn't yell it.
I would never do such a thing. The audacity of that accusation. It's 7:56. We're here a little bit early. It's actually Sunday morning. How are you feeling this morning?
Tired.
Why are you tired?
I've been up since like 4 for some odd reason. Insomnia.
Yeah. But it's Sunday morning. Why are we coming on Sunday morning?
Because I need a few more things to make it worth my lister's time this week. I think I've only gotten maybe 50 so far this week, clothing items. So I want to grab another 20 or 30 today if possible.
Yeah, it's our fourth day. This is actually our fourth day. We have our live show later on today, so this video actually won't come out till later this week. But figured we might as well film something. Why not? People seem to be enjoying this type of content. But seriously, make sure that you are watching our live show if you can. Just because, this is all where we're buying items, doing the sourcing, and we talk about how much we're going to sell it for. But when you watch the live show, you can actually see, what we're actually doing, if we're actually selling anything, and you'll start to see some of the items that we're picking up.
That's kind of questionable if we're actually selling anything lately. Summertime, guys. It's painful.
Whatever, guys. I had my first posh sale. I just said posh sale. What am I, Sean Connery? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so I do think it's a good idea to watch that. It's kind of like a companion piece to all of these pre-recorded videos. And then also with our Sunday show, we set goals for the week. So like our goal this week was to come at least 3 times. This is our 4th time. It's a lot.
So we met that goal. And then you can find out if we met our numbers goals.
Yeah, our listing goals and whatnot. So yeah, anyway, all right, let's get our act together here and get in there and find all the gold. What do you think?
Find all some good stuff.
Yeah, let's find some good stuff.
It's been a little week. This is why we're here on day 4. It's been a little weak this week. Some weeks it's plentiful. Others it's a little slow. However, again, new management here at the bins. I'm liking her a lot. She's great. She keeps the place in line. She doesn't let the people run all over her, and the rotations are super fast.
It's been consistent. It's been consistent.
Yeah.
So even like if you're not finding stuff, it's like by the time you finish looking through all of the bins, they're already like well into the next rotation, getting the next rotation out. So that makes it so much easier because it's such a drag when you're here and you're just waiting for something to come out. But yeah, also I sold my first blanket, so my blanket inventory has dropped by 50%, so I have room to expand the department. So watch out, Victoria. I'm coming for your blankets. Let's go. Just got out. It's 10:18. It's heating up in Vegas. I got exactly 12 pounds. Exactly 12 pounds. Spent like $22. And let me tell you, this is what I love about the bins. I got some interesting stuff. I got a good variety. Some really cool pieces that should make some good money. And I spent freaking $22. Freaking $22.
Freaking $22.
It was a very social day. We got to see our friend Danielle. We got to see our friend Matt and our newer friend Andrew, who, it was funny. I was just thinking the other day, I haven't seen Andrew in a while, since last time we saw him. That was a few months ago. But he was here today. He hooked me up with a couple of cool shirts, which I will show you in the haul, and Matt gave me something that I'm real excited about that you'll be seeing in the haul. Ooh. And anyway, how'd you do? What do you think?
Pretty good. I think mine was exactly 40 pounds.
Were you trying to be cool like me?
No, because I watched them weigh it, but it was in the cart, so I don't know. I mean, the cart weighs like 50. I don't know how it works. Anyway, I spent $60, so that sounds about like 40 pounds.
Yeah.
I got some good stuff. I got a couple of really good pieces, I think. So
yeah,
we'll talk about it when we do the haul. And
yeah,
I'm excited to go home, get it all cleaned up and ready to list. And yeah, I'm good.
All right.
It's hot as heck.
Ugh.
I need me some Dutch Bros.
Yep. But first we got to go to the doggy store to get
first.
Doggy stuff.
It's out of the doggy store.
It's out of the way, man. She doesn't know. She doesn't know, you guys. Look, she's gonna die. Look at her. Look at her. Hey, what's that guy got back there? Do you find anything good? We gotta hold on.
We're gonna zoom in.
Yeah, we gotta see. Oh, I can't zoom. But we're gonna see. Come on, hold that stuff up. Come on. He had one thing he held up. Oh, what is it? No? Okay, bye.
Good Sunday morning to you. I don't know when you're going to be viewing this. Depends on when Katie puts it up. But these are my finds from this morning. Spent about 60 bucks and a little over 2 hours at the bins. And this is what I came back with. Today was a bag day. I'm going to go over those in a second. I got a lot of bags. But vintage Wrangler sleeveless. I think this might be women's. Little country western shirt. Cute. Very, that's the definition of like bread and butter stuff for me, like 30 bucks. I have a thing, I cannot walk past vintage denim shirts. I just can't do it. So this one's probably late 80s, early 90s. No specific great tag or anything like that, but it's got the collar and the cuffs have a little velvet leopard or cheetah print, so that's pretty cool. Oversized, probably 30, 40 bucks. I did get this vintage children's coat, which I just got one the other day too, so I guess I'm in children's wear at this point. But this is probably 70s. Somebody recently dry cleaned it, which is nice. But it's 70s, little girl coat. I may have to cut these off of the hood to list it properly. I think I mentioned it in the last video. They don't like ties on hoods for children's clothing. It was a safety hazard, so they don't really make them with them anymore. And some, like Etsy, will sometimes take an item down if it has one. So these, I'm not sure if these are factory distressed like this or if somebody poured bleach on them, so I'm gonna have to do a little investigating to find out. If they're factory supposed to be like this, these are AG, Old Adrian Goldschmidt jeans, and a good size, and they're men's. The men's sell better than the women's. And they're in great shape except for that distressed coloration. But again, I think that might be intentional. If it's intentional, I'll probably sell these for like 40 bucks. If not, they'll be worthless and I'll just chuck them. This came already on the dry cleaning tag, which is nice. So this is a vintage 70s patio skirt, or even like a wedding skirt. It's very boho. It has a little yellow mark on the bottom, which is actually, I don't think on the lace, I think it's on the elastic, might have yellowed a little on the inside, or the hem basting yellowed a little, because it's kind of uniform throughout the skirt. But anyway, it is white. It's made by a company, you'll see this company fairly frequently, Carefree Fashions in Scottsdale, Arizona. We find it fairly frequently anyway. I have a few different skirts in my inventory. So because it's all white and it's kind of like a little wedding skirt, I'll probably price this around $75. It's really cute. Katie found this for me, which I love. This is vintage. This is probably 60s or 70s. It's got a little schmutz there, but it is a heavy denim embroidered wrap skirt. And you can tell it's vintage mostly by the hemline over here. You can see it may have had lining at one point, but in either case, it's got a hanging paper tag that's probably pretty old. And I'm gonna price this one pretty high. This is very cool boho, retro, hippie, circle wrap skirt thing. It's long too.
It's a good size.
And it's a good size. It could, well, that's the thing about a wrap skirt. You can make it smaller or bigger. So I'll probably price this around $75 as well.
See, I'm good for something.
Sometimes. This is vintage as well. This is probably unisex. I'm not sure. I may list it as men's. You can see it by the metal zip, and then this dagger 70s collar here. It's in this sort of polyester. It's a little bit, shows a little bit of wear. It has some little pilling, but I thought it was a pretty cool colors. And it's called Kids Box is the brand, but this is not a kid's size. This is an adult men, smaller medium. 70s, so maybe 40 bucks or so. This is a zip front denim. Again, I always buy all the long denim dresses too. Katie gave me this one. It zips up almost like a choir robe in the front. But it has these embroidered elephants all over it. So this is 90s. This is the brand Bechamel. They used to be fairly expensive at certain department stores. Sweaters, dresses, women's wear in general. Probably the $40 range. Our friend Matt that was there this morning handed this off to me. This is a vintage menswear type of 70s ugly acrylic sweater vest.
I love it.
Probably 30 bucks. It's not a great brand or anything special, probably just a $30 hipstery looking vintage thing. So this is new with tags. This brand is not vintage. It's a brand called Scarlet Darkness. They are known for, they're sold everywhere. This is new with tags. They're known for kind of their gothic, gothcore or academia core or fairy core or whatever you want to call it, all those different types of cores. This is super wrinkled. So I'm gonna probably throw it in the dryer to loosen the wrinkles. But this was probably priced around 75 or 85 bucks brand new. I didn't look yet, but I'll still sell it for like 30 or 40. It's a decent size. It's still a current aesthetic. This is a vintage sleeveless, oh, it's not sleeveless, sorry, vintage short sleeve linen dress in this pretty, this is very shabby chic. Roses. Can't use the word shabby chic in the title. You can put shabby, you can put chic, you can't put them together. It is a copywritten brand, and they do come after people. So this is really pretty. I'll price this one probably around 50 or 60. The brand is Jane Ashley. Not super relevant, but this is a nice dress, a nice pattern. Let's see. This is vintage. I would say this is probably 70s to early 80s. There are no tags, unfortunately, but I can tell that it is polyester by the overlay. Polyester and nylon. It's really pretty, very feminine floral with a semi-sheer look to it, but it is lined. And then it has the little belt loops and the attached belt. This is really pretty. I'll probably price this one around 75 and take anything over 50 at this point. Just a couple more clothing items. This is a vintage Seahawks polo shirt. I don't know, that looks to be like an 80s tag of some kind. Nothing fantastic, but you know, the Seahawks. They'd even be 70s. Look at that collar. I don't know what I'll price that at, 30 bucks or so. Bloomingdale's, just a vintage bag. It does have some water staining on the back, so I'll definitely be washing it, but it is denim, so it should wash well. I expect I'll get about $40 for that. This is a vintage lingerie. This is really just the camisole top. It's very pretty though. It's nice Barbie core pink, but it is made by Shirley of Hollywood, which is a vintage brand. This one doesn't feel too vintagey. Maybe 90s or Y2K, but this brand does go way back. It's pretty. These two, I think I got two dresses, Hawaiian shirts here. Neither of them are like Rain Spooner or any type of fantastic brand, but I did like the pattern on this one and that it is cotton. It is vintage. It is cotton instead of polyester or nylon or rayon, which is much more comfortable in the high desert climate. And then this one is a vintage RJC 2XL, made in the USA, and this got the paper tag on it still. This is a reverse print, and just basic blues and grays, and it's a 2XL. Let's see. These I keep swearing I'm not gonna pick up anymore, and then Katie found this one today, and I thought it was too cute to leave behind. So, vintage denim blouse, check. Vintage Christmas stuff, check. Embroidered, these were popular in the 90s.
It's a little kitty cat.
It probably is 90s, Bobby Brooks. It's got a cat and a little teddy bear. So they do sell like 40 bucks or so. This dress, I can't find any tags on it, so I'm not sure if it's modern or vintage, but I liked the smocking top, like the smocked top and the full skirt. So I'm just gonna try to market it by style. Also should be $30, $40. This one looks vintage, feels vintage. I'm on the fence whether this is a repro because of this little tag. Sometimes those little tags mean it's like sheen or shine or whatever. But this is actually double lined and made well, which makes me think it's not shine. So I don't know, I'm gonna do a little bit of a visual search and see. It's got a drop waist with a pleated skirt. It has a very 70s retro pattern on it, but I don't know, I'm not sure. It's a crapshoot on that one. I'll sell it either way. It's just if it's true vintage, it will sell for more. So that's it for clothing. And then I just have a bunch of bags that I picked up today. Oh, first I picked this up, Dansk, which is like the kitchen, like flatware and servingware type of stuff. These are mini tapered candles, and it's a full package, and these sell for like $30 or $40.
And that didn't sell at Goodwill?
No. Okay, so this is a laptop bag. It's in a nice heavy leather. I only picked it up because it was really nice heavy leather, and it's got all the padding inside, but it's modern. It's by a company called Solo Cases, SOLO, cases.com. This seems to be selling for the $40 to $50 range, probably because it's a nice like over-the-shoulder bag that also carries all the things you need in it. So that was worth picking up for like $4. This is Patricia Nash, which is one of my favorite designers, and actually I own probably 10 of these bags, and I will probably end up keeping this one. But if I do list it, it's nice leather, it's hand-tooled leather, it's a beautiful brand. She makes wonderful bags, handbags, wallets, and shoes, and that's what the tag looks like. I actually have the matching wallet to this, so I think I just convinced myself that it's gonna be mine. But if I were to sell it, it'd be like $50 to $60 resale. This is just a Steve Madden tote. I only bought it because it's a nice tote that does not appear to have been used because it still has the plastic all over the labels, both inside and out, and the buttons still have the plastic over it. So it's got a little coin purse with it. I bought it because it's a nice little summer tote, and I think if I get it listed, I can at least get like $30 out of it. Let's see. This is also probably a giveaway at like the perfume counter or something, but this is Neiman Marcus, and it's a bucket tote. This also does not appear to have been used. Somebody must have cleaned out their closets. It just has a Neiman Marcus tag on it, but it has this really nice, like almost like raffia outside. Kind of a cool little ethnic print. So maybe $20. This one I picked up, not because of what it says on this side, although this is vintage, 2000 High Expo.
Heli, it's a helicopter thing.
Oh, okay,
Heli.
So it's a helicopter expo. I'm reading it upside down. But the other side has the Rolls-Royce logo because it was sponsored by Rolls-Royce. So I picked it up because of that.
Very cool.
We'll see if it has any value. Probably cost me 75 cents. This one did not sell at Goodwill because it has a tag on it, which $12.99 is too expensive. I wouldn't have paid that for it, but I will pay the $2 for it. This is a Brighton bag, Brighton Christmas bag. Usually there's a ton of these online, and this one has been used, but there's no like defects or anything on it. It's cute. It'll probably get $30 or $40. And then these last two things are just because. So this one is a vintage 1970s Yves Saint Laurent YSL. It's just a tie. So this is a necktie, but it's that kind of textured cotton skinny tie. I'm not sure that it's going to have a lot of value. If it does, it's only because it's YSL, not because of the style. But again, it was so little that there was no reason for me to not pick it up. And then this may be my favorite find of the day. I'm like 90% sure it's real. I'm going to look more up into it. But this is Dolce & Gabbana. I believe it's vintage 90s in a suede and leather handbag. It's got the little suede tassels. It does have the hologram and the tag, which lead me to believe it may be real, but I'm not entirely sure. Like this says made in Italy, but it's upside down. Oh, it's not actually, it's only upside down on one side. So I'm going to do a little bit of investigating. It does look like something from the line there, one of the lines from the 90s. It does have a little soil mark right here and on the corner, but this could go as high as $400 or $500 if it's authentic. So I'll let you know. And that is it. Pretty good haul day.
Okay, it is my turn. As I said earlier, I'm actually pretty happy with today's haul. I did exactly 12 pounds. My bill was like $22. But I got a really cool like variety of stuff, and easily I'm gonna make some money on this haul. So let's go ahead and get started. I got some real kind of basic stuff that's not super exciting. This, I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's on the Juanita tag, and it just has a small graphic: Horseshoe Meadow, Hot Shots, Sequoia, NF. I'm not sure what does NF stand for. I don't know. Anyway, maybe 30 bucks, but I can't pass up vintage, you guys. Vicki threw this one my way because she has too many men's shirts right now and she wasn't really interested in getting more. But this is a vintage 90s Gap. You can see the Gap there. It's just a nice striped, kind of heavier cotton button-down shirt. But maybe I can get like 50 bucks for it. Next up, I've got this hoodie. This is not, well, this could be like Y2K, but it's on this Port and Company. But this is probably within the last like 15 years or so. But it's a hoodie and it says Evolution. It's got like the little Evolution chart, but it goes up to the guy on the skateboard. So just kind of a fun hoodie. But I think I could make like 40 bucks on it. We'll see. Yet another pair of Levi's 501s. These ones are made, it's got the paper tag. I'm gonna say these are 90s because it does have the paper tag and it's made in Mexico. But these are 90s. They've got some distressing, but only in a good way. You can see right here, there is one belt loop that's come undone, but meh, I don't care about that. See, these are nicely faded and worn in, so they should do well, especially on Etsy, where I tend to sell them for about $63. Next up, I have this t-shirt. This is gonna be probably late 90s. It's just one of those ones that has like a dumb saying on the front of it. It says, "I can only please one person a day. Today isn't your day. Tomorrow doesn't look good either." Wah, wah, wah. Maybe like 30 bucks on this. Next up, we got a little vintage Christmas, little Santa Claus. The tag is Holiday Time. And it is made in, let's see, Mexico. This is probably like late 90s, but it's all embroidered. It's got Santa Claus on it, and it says, "I believe in Santa Claus." So I should be able to sell this at Christmas time, maybe like 40 bucks. Vicki is not the only one who can get bags. As you guys know, I have been picking up tote bags. They're super easy to photograph and measure. You know, so as long as I can make like at least $30, I'm gonna grab it. But this is also, it must have been in a different spot than the ones that Vicki grabbed, or she definitely would have grabbed it. This is another Brighton bag. It says "All That Glitters." It's got a little blingity bling blang, diamonds on it. There are a handful of these listed. You know, some Brighton bags do actually sell for quite a bit. This is not one of them, but I should be able to get like 30. I'll probably price it at $35.99 and try to get at least 30 for it. But, you know, like I said, they're super easy to photograph and list, so I don't mind picking it up. Next up, another tote bag. I grabbed this at first just because I liked the way it looked, and I'm sure some of you watching know immediately what this is. I'm not familiar with this brand. But it's, what's it called? Aviator Nation. I gotta yell to the peanut gallery back in there. Aviator Nation. But it's funny because when I saw this graphic, I thought, I wonder if that's something to do with aviation. So it's actually a pretty good logo that they have. The Aviator Nation, they do clothing, super expensive. Like a while back, Vicki had found a sweatshirt. I remember her finding the sweatshirt in it, but it had like a big cut in it or slit in it. And she was mad because it would have sold for probably like $150. So I do remember that happening. I just didn't remember the brand. But I looked up this the tote bag, and they do have different locations. And what I found is, first of all, the tote bag in general has a great sell-through rate. I think there's like 46 sold, 44 listed, so it's just a little over 100% sell-through rate. I noticed that none of the solds and none of the listed are Las Vegas. They're all like California and Colorado, so there's no Las Vegas ones. Some of them do sell for quite a bit. Some of the ones that sold, though, were brand new. So I'm probably just gonna like list this. I'll probably list it for like 100 with best offer, and hope I can get anywhere from $50 to $100. But like I said, there's no Las Vegas ones listed, so I'm hoping that goes in my favor, and it's not because nobody cares. But we'll see. But it's just a nice little canvas tote bag. Next up, just as I was leaving, as I said, we saw some of our friends there. I got a little bit of something from everybody. Just as we were leaving, Danielle picked this up, and I was giving her something, and she gave me this. This is Atlanta Campus Christian Fellowship, 1994. So it's just a Christian tee, but it's got Asian print on it. I don't know if this is Chinese or Japanese. I'll use the Google Lens to be able to translate it and see what language it is, because I don't know off the top of my head. But, so maybe I'll get $40 for this. And then friend Andrew, he had a few things that he said I could have if I wanted them. So there were a couple that I really liked. I like travel tees. They don't necessarily fly off the shelf for tons of dollars, depending what the graphic is and stuff. But I still like them. This is probably late 80s, early 90s. You can see it's a tank top on a Fruit of the Loom tag, and this is made in Canada. And it's got the Canadian flag, and it says Niagara Falls. Of course, it's single stitch. It's in really nice condition. I mean, I can probably get like $40 for this. 30 to 40. Next up, this one is a little bit dingier. It says youth, but I can definitely sell this as a small. And so what I'll usually do is I put in the condition description, I will say, tag says youth XL, measures like a men's small, or whatever the measurements end up being, because it's definitely not too small to be considered like a small adult size. But this is just California. It's got a lighthouse. It's on this all sport tag, so this is definitely 90s. It's a little bit dingy, so I'll probably wash this and bleach it. Just have single stitch on the sleeves, double on the bottom. So maybe $30 or so. Next up, I don't know the date on this. It's on this Seaport and Company tag. Now this is probably mid-2000s. But I like this because of the graphic. It's City of Los Angeles, Department of Recreation and Parks. It says Citywide Aquabatics. And I just like the little swimming graphic on it. That's the back. This is the front. Maybe I'll be able to get $30 for it. We'll see. Next up, this looks to be dead stock. And, made in Brazil. I don't know that I've seen a made in Brazil tag before, but this is on the jerseys tag. Made in Brazil. 100% cotton, but this is from 2002. It says 2002 Arizona. Just a little patriotic shirt. Maybe I can get like $35 for it. That's a nice big size. All right, probably my favorite t-shirt find. Sometimes I'll see a little piece of a shirt sticking out, and I'm like, I know it's vintage, and I'm just excited to see what's actually on the shirt. So I pulled this out. It's very soft. It is single stitch on the bottom, as you can see there, and it does have some condition issues. It's pretty worn. It's got a hole right there. It doesn't have a tag. There was a tag here. What's going on in there? So rude. Anyway, this is an Olympic shirt. Now I don't know. I need to do some Googling. It says it's got the Olympic rings. It says LA there, so I think the LA Olympics were in '84. But then it says Ming Yang, and it's baseball. So I'm gonna have to look up and see if there's like a particular meaning to this. But it's super worn, super soft. I'll probably list this like $70. Go as low as 50. All right. I was kind of looking around in the textile bins where all the blankets and sheets and stuff like that are, and a lot of times there'll be there will be clothing in there, either because it just got mixed in or because somebody threw something back. And I saw this this sticking out, And so at first I thought it was like a blanket or something, and I pulled it out, and it's actually a jacket. It's actually like a big windbreaker jacket. And it does have a Goodwill tag on it, but it's got that red tag, which they put on stuff that they think is should be priced super high. So you can see it was priced $14.99. Apparently nobody wanted it even for half off. I will say the date on this is 7/18. So it's like, I don't know if like that date, isn't that the date that they put the tag on it? Because if that's the case, this did not sit out. So I don't know if this is another case like the Pendleton blanket where it just got thrown in to go to the bins without actually being out there. Because I have a hard time believing that, I mean, I don't know if somebody would buy it for 15, but I feel like they would buy it for $7.50 if it, you know, when they do go half off. But this is, the brand is, hold on a second, it's all tangled up here. The brand is Reason. Show it to you. Reason. It still has this little, the tag thing on it. So I'm gonna guess this is still new, because I can't imagine wearing it with that thing hanging on there. But that's the brand Reason. It's like a really big size. It said 5XL, so it's a really big size. It's got this really cool kind of comic book panels. It's got the big bad wolf on it. It's just a really cool graphic. And I looked it up and I found the same jacket. I don't remember, it wasn't the same size, but I found the same jacket had sold for $90 new. And like I said, this is new. I don't see any reason why I can't get, you know, probably just list it for 100. Maybe I'll do a little bit more research on it, but I mean, that's a good deal when I paid like $2-3 for it, right? All right, last two things. The second to the last one. This is probably one of my favorite things today. Not that I'm going to be taking up selling stitch work, whatever these things are called. Monarch Horizons take-alongs. What year is this from? Does it say on it? I can't see a date. Oh, it has a little date thing. I'll have to look it up. Long stitch. This is a long stitch kit. I actually got this from our friend Matt. He had a couple of them, but this one was awesome. Vicki rejected them, and I said, how can you reject a long stitch kit that features gay whales? So I'm pretty excited because, come on, look how cute they are. Super cute, super gay, just celebrating their gayness, swimming, jumping in the ocean. Anyway, it's all complete. It's got all the string. It's all wool, pure wool, if you will. And I'm gonna try my hand at selling some stitch work. What do you think? How gay is that? I love it. All right, last thing. Now this was over with the blankets and stuff. This is a banner, and I saw it. I saw Billabong, and I'm like, oh, that looks like it's probably like a '90s Billabong banner. And it's just cool. It's like this big banner. It's a surfing banner. You can see Billabong, and it's got some tape on it. I think I can use like some Goo Gone or something and actually get that tape residue off of there so it looks good as new. I didn't know anything about the guy that's on it, but this is where having reseller friends comes in handy. I showed it to Andrew, and he's like, he only saw part of it, and he's like, oh, is that Andy? I think it was Andy Irons. I think that's his name. And I said, I don't know. And he looks at it and he's like, oh yeah, it is. So Andy Irons, I guess, was a big time surfer and actually died back in 2010. Something heart related, but they also think it was drug related. So that will potentially add to the value of it. But I just think it's super cool, and I can just fold this up and stash it in the closet so it won't take up much space. But I'll see, I have to do a little research, but I'll probably list it for at least 100, see what happens. It's super cool, man. Anyway, that's it. So I didn't get a ton of stuff, but I feel like I got some really cool pieces, some interesting variety. We had a lot of fun. This will probably be going up on Monday, so make sure you go back and watch our show that probably was up yesterday, our Sunday live show, where you can see what we've sold over this last week, look at our numbers, and we'll be setting new goals for the week. And we will see you soon. Little puppy action, it's a lazy Sunday. Do-dee-doo-doo-doo, what's going on? Would you like me to scratch your belly? Here I come, here I come. Oh, you wanted to steal it? You wanted to steal the baby's scritches, huh? Huh, Luna? Why does that baby get all the attention? And then there's Grizz.